Hello guys, welcome to the latest episode of Every Platform, and welcome today to Arnside, located on the Furness line. You can guess we are in Cumbria. We're on the Furness line to Barrow-in-Furness from Lancaster. On today's plan, as you can tell, we are visiting all stations between Lancaster and Barrow-in-Furness. We are also visiting Askam station, which is just beyond Barrow-in-Furness, but that is just to add an extra station on because that line is absolutely huge, so it just knocks one out for the next time. We were also meant to visit Kirkby-in-Furness, but unfortunately we don't have time today due to a issue of the timetable changes with Northern. They've cancelled a few services today, so it's made that a little bit trickier, but hey ho, it is what it is. If you do, I'm going to start by just saying, if you do wish to check out any updates on trips and posts, check out my Facebook group, and also check out my Instagram, KTVvids, and also my Twitter at KTVvids96. So I won't ramble on. Let's begin today's episode here at Every Platform here at Arnside. Enjoy. So we'll start with a fact about Arnside. Interestingly enough, historically this station used to be a junction for a little branch line called the Lancaster branch, which went to Sandside. The station also went through to Lancaster Junction, with what is now known as Lancaster Junction, which crosses over onto the West Coast Main Line just south of Oxenholme Lake District. So basically you would leave here, you would cross over on the branch, cross to Sandside, and then if you wanted to go further you would, but you would end back up on the West Coast, what is now known as the West Coast Main Line, off Lancaster Junction near Oxenholme Lake District. So that's kind of how it works. It's quite straightforward. The station also is a short distance from the River Kent, which runs across here as well. It's only a short distance from the station. The tide is in at the moment, and it's very foggy and it's very misty at the moment, so you can't see it all that well. But yeah, and the branch line that I just mentioned as well was also used by mineral trains that came over from County Durham, but the whole line is shut now and has been shut for a long time. So yeah, so that's your fact about Arnside. In terms of train service, the whole line gets trains to Barrow-in-Furness from Lancaster and also from Manchester Airport. And there are also trains that go through to Carlisle via the Cumbrian coastline, which starts at Barrow-in-Furness generally. Most trains start at Barrow.
Yeah, that takes 3 hours.
Yeah, it takes like 3 hours, but most trains start at Barrow, but some come from Lancaster. So, yes. Also, as you probably know, this line used to be served by Trans-Pennine Express up until, I think it was 2017, 2018, around that time, maybe a little bit before. I think it was 2017, where Northern took over, and they used to have 185s. They hired them in for a time until they used their own trains. So yeah, and the station also has Furness line branding, as you can see.
And transfer underneath there.
So yeah, you probably can't see it all too well, but there we go. Anyway, so I'll update you soon, but that's Arnside station. Okay, arriving in now, it's going to be the 0928 Northern service from Barrow-in-Furness to Manchester Airport, formed over 195. And it is going to be 195 ABC. Easy as 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, here we go again. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that, to be fair. But here we are. Alright, we've now reached Silverdale station, and partner now is 195123. So that is the 0932 Northern service to Manchester Airport from Barrow-in-Furness. That one will next call at Carnforth, then Lancaster, Preston, then it will call at Chorley, Bolton, then it will be Manchester Oxford Road, Manchester Piccadilly, Gatley, and Manchester Airport. I think I might have missed one in between, but I think it goes Chorley and then straight to Bolton. So yeah. Yeah, so this station is Silverdale. As you can see, quite a retro station sign, a classic station sign, which looks really, really nice. And the station is looked after by the Friends of Silverdale Station, so it is a very community-driven station, which is lovely. As you see, they planted loads of stuff around here to make it look really nice. So anyway, we'll talk more about it in a minute. So interestingly, this station is actually got a barrow crossing right at the very end. For those who aren't familiar, I've talked about it before, but a barrow crossing is basically like what Brandon's doing there. You just sort of cross over, and you have to cross over as and when it's safe, hence the sign here, stop, look, listen, beware of trains. So in other words, you've got to cross over and just make sure that there is not a train oncoming. Some barrow crossings have like gates as well, which you manually can open, but some just have this where it's just completely out in the open. So yeah. The other fact about this is this station is near to a reserve for the RSPB called Leighton Moss, which is nearby. So it's a it's a station with frequent visitors to there. And the other thing is, really interestingly, obviously the Friends of Silverdale Station, they do so much that actually the Wi-Fi at the station is powered from the nearby golf club. Would you believe? They've actually agreed with them to use their Wi-Fi to power up the Wi-Fi here to allow people to connect, which is quite amazing, really. This station has that. So yeah, that is Silverdale Station. Brief visit because we're not staying here. We're going to catch a bus to Carnforth, and we're going to go back on ourselves. Just got a bit of time to kill before we catch our next train. So yeah, Carnforth is next. We'll update you soon. Also, funnily enough, Silverdale is known as the loveliest spot on Morecambe Bay. It's not Morecambe, that's for sure. Okay, so now on board a Optair Solo SR. 47921 is the fleet number if you care to look it up, but it's on the 51 from Silverdale to Carnforth, operated by Stagecoach Cumbria. It's only a small little thing, but solos normally are, so. And it's making a horrible noise as it proceeds forward, so good fun. Update you when we reach Carnforth station. Right, so we're now in Carnforth. And there goes 47921. Said Optair Solo SR, heading off to just terminate at its next stop in Carnforth. We're now here at the station, Carnforth, just down there, and we'll head in and update you shortly. Right, we're now back here at Carnforth station. We just got off the Solo SR. We've been here before. Alex was here the last time we did it, and he is here again as we do the Barrow line. Brandon is also here, Southern Train Spot 2006, and Alex, obviously Alex's trains. So yeah,
Southerners people.
Yeah, two Southerners who have basically come north. So
Lads on tour.
I mean, technically Alex is probably more from the east, but still. But you know, you're more eastern than you are southern. But you know, you're still from the south of England in comparison to here. You're still a southerner, really. I'm gonna call you that. Easterner, maybe.
Yeah, you're on the southeast.
Well, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
He's a southerner. Anyway, and so am I. So, yeah. So obviously we know Carnforth, how good it is. It's obviously home to the West Coast Railways depot, which we have seen before. And currently Braunton sat in there, I believe. And yeah, it's always Carnforth's interesting because it always attracts the enthusiasts of everyone over here to actually see what locos are hiding away. As you can see over there, there is a West Coast Railways 57, which is Conwy Castle 57314, and there is also a 47, which is got the nameplate of Carnforth TMD, the number of which is hidden away because it's not that visible. But also there is a steam over there, so you can probably just see that's I believe Braunton just peered up. So yeah, a lot of rail tours also come through this way because of obviously its history with the railway. It's a railway town. That's what Carnforth really is. It's really cool. I love railway towns, but this one in particular is really nice. So anyway, so enough about Carnforth. We're now going to head over to our next station, which is going to be Ulverston. Now today I might say stations to you that we're going to go to, and then I might change the plan at the last minute. The reason for that is because there are a lot of cancellations on this line today due to the timetable being changed at short notice. So Northern have basically done what Northern do best and changed the timetable at the last minute, which is something that they do and not a lot of other TOCs actually do. So some of them do it, but Northern do it a lot, and so do TransPennine Express. So, but Northern today, it's their time to shine to do it. Update you soon. Right, arriving in now is going to be the 10:23 Northern service to Carlisle from Lancaster, which is 156404. And this one's actually an ex-East Midlands Railway one because it's got the EMR interior, or the red one anyway. I'll update you soon. That is a really nice view going out towards Cark and Cartmel, towards Barrow. It's a really nice view, and this station looks lovely. By the way, this station we're off at, by the way, is not Ulverston. We have bailed early at Kent's Bank. Reason being is because there's a bus connection that helps us, and there's a non-cancelled train at Grange Over Sands a bit later. So Brandon's pulling a lever here, which does absolutely nothing, which I actually was alluded to believe that something was going to happen. Brandon, you misled me. I'm not happy. You made me believe something was going to happen when you pushed that lever. I'm disappointed, very disappointed. I'm joking, I'm not really. We'll talk more about the station in a minute, but there are a hell of a lot of cancelled services now. That's the last one for a while. Oh, he's actually made it work. That lever that he's pulling has pulled the crossing up. Look at this. There's Brandon pulling the lever, and there's the crossing. That is awesome. Anyway, right, we'll talk more about the station in a minute. That's really cool. This is Kent's Bank. Alright, so we're now here at Kent's Bank station. This station was opened or designed in 1865 by a couple of local architects based in Lancaster called Paley and Austin. They actually made it for the purposes of the Furness Railway, but the building itself over there is now just used privately. It's a gallery, I think, Beach Hut Gallery. Well, that's just the name of the building, but the station serves the village of Kent's Bank, which is in Cumbria. There isn't really much to say about the station other than that. It's a user work barrier level crossing, as we've also worked out as well. So yeah, it's about 17 miles out of Lancaster, so we're a good chunk, good whack out of Lancaster now. But yeah, two platforms, this platform here for Barrow, the other platform for Lancaster and the south. So yeah, it's quite a basic station. The bus connection isn't great either. The only company that serve here is an independent company called Kirkby-in-Furness coaches, who we will be using later, but not yet. So yeah, this is Kent's Bank, and we're actually going to take a walk now because the trains have been cancelled. The nearest station is about a 45-minute walk away, but it's not the worst time in the world, so we're actually going to do it, and we're all up for doing it. So we're going to walk to Grange Over Sands, and by the time we get there, we'll still make a train, and we'll actually kill some time and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so that'll be handy because of the cancellations. So Kent's Bank done, probably the one with the least facts on the line, but there you go. And we'll see you at Grange Over Sands. Right, we have now just reached Grange Over Sands. Very lovely station building right there, which is just inside there's the ticket hall, but we're not using that platform. And there's a little shop inside, which we just bought some needed drinks from, as we've just done about a 45-minute walk between Kent's Bank and here. So we are just waiting for the 12:27 Northern service to Barrow-in-Furness from Manchester Airport. That one's 195. But we'll talk more about the station in just a minute. We're just going to make our way over to the other platform first via a road bridge, well, a subway, which is also doubles as a road bridge, a road underpass even, sorry, I should say. I think it doubles as it anyway, maybe not, but you can see as you walk down here, should be able to, it's just across here and underneath that we have to go. So through the subway for trains to Barrow and North Cumbria, and this side for trains to Lancaster and South, and we're heading towards Barrow and North Cumbria. So, and yeah, no, it is just it's a cyclist as well, but no cars can come through here because it just leads onto the platform. But here we are, and we'll update you in just a second. Right, to talk about this station, this is Grange Over Sands. This station is located in the town of Grange Over Sands in Cumbria. Also runs alongside the Grange Over Sands promenade and alongside the Morecambe Bay, which is what we just walked along around here. As you can see, this is basically the promenade, and, well, it's the Morecambe Bay. This is what it is. Basically overlooks, and you can actually see Blackpool, and you can also see Morecambe, which why would you want to see Morecambe? But yeah, basically that. Sorry Morecambe, I am insulting you. That is because I don't like Morecambe. Blackpool I don't mind, but Morecambe I do. Anyway, glad I've already been. So yeah, this station won Heritage Station of the Year in 2012, and the station building, which that one there, is Grade 2 listed. So I think it's that one. Yeah, that one is the Grade 2 listed building, which is quite nice. It used to just be called Grange as well. Locals know it as Grange, but the official name is Grange Over Sands. So yeah, it's an interesting station. There's also a little like I say, a little shop inside, which is like a little bookshop, but we got a nice cold drink in there, which was really needed. The line also for a while carried a lot of industrial traffic because it used to bring a certain type of coal, ironically called coke, over here from County Durham. Now it went through here, and I think that's the same one that would have come over from Arnside that I mentioned. So yes, but that is Grange Over Sands. It is a very nice little station. I like it. On a nicer day it probably looks even nicer, but it's what we got. So yeah, we've got a few minutes. Our 12:27 Barrow-in-Furness train, which is going to take us to Ulverston, is next, and we'll update you soon. But yeah, Grange Over Sands. Right, arriving in now is 195131, 12:27 service to Barrow-in-Furness. Update you shortly when we reach Ulverston. This time we are going to Ulverston. Right, we're just in Ulverston now. And that there is the 12:43 Northern Service to Barrow-in-Furness from Manchester Airport. This station is Ulverston. Now this station is quite interesting because, as you can see, there is a platform face on either side of one track. You don't see that very much, where one through track there and there's a platform face either side of it. Another example of that is Guildford. If you know Guildford well, you'll know Guildford has this as well. That's one example I can straight away think of off the top of my head. If you think of any other examples, feel free to include them, but I definitely know Guildford has this example. The other platform is actually on platform 3, which is on the far side there, which is the Lancaster train, which I think is due a bit later. The next train here is the 1401 to Carlisle from Lancaster. But yeah, this station is really unique in its design. As you can see, the platform used to extend out quite further as well. But yeah, so this is Ulverston, and we'll let you know a fact about the station in just a moment, other than the fact of the layout, which looks really cool. So the reason the station is actually laid out like this is because it actually is a legacy, because this station used to also be a junction for a line to Lakeside, which is on the southern shore of Windermere. That's where this one is basically. So this island platform basically allowed for people to get off the train and easily connect with Lancaster, what have you, to go back. It was just a very easy cross-platform interchange, and to be honest, it wouldn't do that now because the doors only open on this side, on platform 1, but it used to, where beforehand they would use the other side and connect with 3. But it just allowed for access to the platforms, I would imagine, either side. So either going towards Lancaster or leaving the station. It's quite cool. But yeah, it used to go to Greenodd and Haverfordwest to its terminus at Lakeside. So yeah, the track bed is actually used for improvements to the A590 road now, so it's all been laid over now, but the old track bed is now used for that, so people who do actually live in Lakeside can just drive along that, I guess. So yeah, that's the history of the station. That's the reason the station is laid out in the way it is. It is a really unique example of a railway station. I really like it. So that's Ulverston done. We've got no trains here, sadly. 1308 to Lancaster from Carlisle is the next one, but the next station we're headed to is Barrow-in-Furness, so we'll update you soon. Right, so we're on board Barrow 400 MMC now, stagecoach Cumbria again. You can see we've got another one passing us actually. I think it's another MMC, yeah. 10554. So, yeah, this is the X6, which runs all the way from Kendal, just on the Windermere branch, over to Barrow-in-Furness. There's also the 6, which runs to Windermere from Barrow. We're on the X6, and yeah, it's looking quite good at the moment. It's nice seats, the seats are comfortable. Stagecoach distance seating. Gold seating?
Yeah.
Well, maybe they are then, but they're very nice anyway. So yeah, we'll be heading on this to Barrow-in-Furness. We ain't got long of the journey left. As you can see up there, so just to look down the bus. And yeah, and of course we're in Cumbria, so there's lots of tractors. Anyway, we will update you when we reach Barrow-in-Furness. Right, so now here in Barrow-in-Furness, and off goes an E400 MMC. (10552) on the X6, heading to Barrow, which is already in from Kendal. So yeah, it's now time to, there's the other two. It's now time to head over to the station, which is right over there, and we'll update you in just a moment. Alright, we just reached Barrow-in-Furness. It's a quick visit. We are back here later, so there will be more coverage. But as you see, the station sign just says Barrow, so it's yeah, kind of basic there. There's a 156 parked up there, which is going to be heading for Carlisle. 195131 is our train, the 1352 to Manchester Airport. We're going to be taking that to Cark and Cartmel. next station we're going to. But yeah, what we'll do, because this is we were just seeing someone here at Barrow, someone I know, so we're catching up with them, and so we'll have more time in the evening later to cover the station in a bit more detail, so we will come back to it. There is a depot over there, Barrow Depot, which houses 195s, and there's a 156 in there, which might come out later, who knows. But for now, we'll head on this train and we'll update you when we reach Cark. Right, we're now here at Cark and Cartmel. The point out now is 195131. So this station is, well, it's known as Cark because it is located in that area, but it is called Cark and Cartmel because it also serves that area. It's known as Cark and Cartmel in announcements, but at the station sign and on board trains it's known as Cark. So yeah, this is the last station just before Barrow. Well, no, it's not. This is in between Ulverston and Lancaster. We've cleared pretty much everything on there. We've only got 2 stations after there to do, which are Dalton and Roose, plus maybe a couple of others afterwards, which you should be doing. Yeah, so Cark and Cartmel, we'll talk more about it in a minute. 195131's heading to Manchester Airport. Okay, so this station, Cark and Cartmel, it serves quite a few villages actually. It serves Cark, Cartmel, Flukeburgh, I think that's how you say it, and Alifwaite. They're all local, like little villages in Cumbria, and but the station itself is situated, located in Cark. That's where it is, in the village of Cark. So that's the place where it's located. The station has a bit of royal history as well, weirdly enough. The building you see there, I believe, had some special waiting rooms in it, because this station used to be one that the Lord Cavendish of Furness used to go to, which formerly belonged to the Dukes of Devonshire. How posh. And this station had like special waiting rooms for them, which are retained but obviously never used. But yeah, a bit of a random bit of royal knowledge there for you. It's now just a private residence and has like 1 acre of gardens and woodland, which is nice, well maintained, so it's not been overgrown. So yeah, the station also on board is called Cark in Cartmel. On train announcements at stations it's called Cark and Cartmel, and the station it's just called Cark. 3 different names, 3 different ways of saying it that are all still said today at different areas of the railway. Interesting, really interesting. Can't make up its mind. Just call it Cark because that's where it is. Any other villages you can just say later on. So we're going to head to Grange Over Sands again. We're going to catch a bus by Kirkby-in-Furness coaches, the ones I mentioned earlier, and then we're going to make our way to Dalton. So we'll update you soon. Right, arriving now is 195107. This is the 1437 service to Barrow-in-Furness. We opted, I'll say in a sec. We opted not to catch the bus in the end, purely because it didn't show and we don't actually think it exists anymore. But yeah, it's showing online, so hey ho, we'll update you soon. Right, there goes 195107. We're now here at Roose station, which is actually an intermediate station, a local station in Barrow-in-Furness. That's the first thing about it. The station is actually probably one of the least facilitated ones I've seen on the line so far, but it looks okay. Looks like it just serves like a local area, like a residential area of Barrow. But yeah, we'll talk more about it in a minute. There's not really, doesn't look as much to say, but the scenery around it looks okay, so that's all right. Update you in a minute. Right, so this station is Roose. This station is very, very basic. This station is one of the very few remaining stations in the town of Barrow. I think it's actually the only one. I think it's the only one that's a suburban station in the town, because Barrow-in-Furness is the main one. Other than really saying that this station is serving the suburban area of Roose, this station doesn't really hold a lot of info. It's one of those really basic ones, like it's almost train simulator basic, that's what I call it, like to the point where facilities don't matter on a game like that, so it doesn't feel like they matter here as well. The station is pretty much all out in the open, other than a couple of very small shelters, so it is kind of like a lot of basic stations. But yeah, the only real thing is Roose has seen an expansion over the years to try and make it more sort of appealing to people who live in the area, maybe to move over here, because they've had a few new builds. But other than that, the station just serves Roose, an area of Barrow-in-Furness that is suburban. That's it. The next station is Dalton. We're actually going to head back to Barrow again to change, because we've got another cancelled train on our hands, so we've got to go to Barrow by bus, which we can do, and then train it to Dalton, and then that will be the last stop needed on the Furness line in between Lancaster and Barrow. So yes. Right, so now I'm boarding up there slowly, heading to Barrow-in-Furness after we left Roose. It's 47132, that's the fleet number. It's not a small little thing, but it makes a lot of noise. We're going to take this, it goes outside the railway station in just a moment. But yeah, we've had a few interesting buses today. We've had a Solo SR, an E400 MMC, and now a Solo. So it's not bad. We'll update you in a second. I just wanted to get to hear what it sounds like. It's quite nice. But yeah, update you shortly. There's my hand. Update you shortly.
That's not real, is it?
So, off that goes. There's a local service in Barrow, number 3. That's an Optare Solo 47132. Huh? It goes in the station, but this is the nearest bus stop to it, I think.
No, this bus stop is the bus.
Oh, never mind. Not have made a difference anyway. Anyway, so we're now going to make our way back into Barrow-in-Furness. We're actually going to have a bit of a break because we've got a couple of cancelled trains, so we need to film Dalton, which is remaining. So we'll update you soon. Okay, so we're now on board. So we just checked into our hotel, and I thought I'd just show you guys the other bus that's in the fleet that's around this area, and that's the Scania E400. We're just on board it now. These are awesome seats. Look at these. Big. They're very high back, which is very nice. But yes, quite common buses around my area as well, because I live in Plymouth, so the Gold bus has them. But not like this, not like the seats. The seats are definitely aren't like this. We've still got the Stagecoach Gold seats. The livery is a Stagecoach Distance. But after we just checked in, we're now going to be heading over to Dalton-in-Furness, which is the last station we need on the line from Lancaster to Barrow fully. So yes, I'll update you shortly. Okay, so we're now back here at Barrow-in-Furness. I did say I would cover it. So this station is Barrow-in-Furness. This is probably the most main and major station on the Furness line after Lancaster, because it's got the most services, because Barrow has trains that start here that go to Carlisle. The stuff to Carlisle that you saw, well, with 15644 only, there's stuff that comes from Lancaster, but it's generally every 2 hours or so, maybe a bit more. It's very sparse, but here it's generally one train an hour, and then it goes sometimes to half hourly in the evening peak, which is quite good. The line is incredibly long. It's the Cumbrian coastline, as it's known, beyond here. So yeah, there's a Carlisle service that's been cancelled, so we know that one now. But yeah, 15644, you can just see it peeping out over there. It's terminated in from Carlisle. It's been cancelled now, so it's going to be sat here for ages. Good fun. And yeah, so that's Barrow-in-Furness. I spoke about this station saying it serves quite a big town. Barrow-in-Furness's town is actually really big in comparison to a lot of other towns in Northwest. So it's just in an area that's quite cut off from other bigger areas, if that makes sense. It's about an hour journey between here and Lancaster, and it's about 3 hours or so, maybe a bit longer, to Carlisle. So it's a long journey. So next up is Dalton-in-Furness, which we're going to do next. I'm going to come back and give you a couple of facts about Barrow, but that'll be when we finish the video. Dalton-in-Furness is next, and then also we are going to go to 2 stations on the Cumbrian coastline, which are Askam and now also Kirkby-in-Furness, because we've made up the time. We're now able to do all 3 of them that I planned, which is really, really good. It started off from missing stations to now getting all of them, so I'm really happy. So yeah, Kirkby-in-Furness is the only request stop we're going to be going to, but you'll see that in a bit. I'll update you shortly when our train arrives to take us on the Lancaster service to Dalton-in-Furness. Okay, arriving now is 156485. It's on the 1719 to Lancaster from Carlisle. We'll update you when we reach Dalton. Right, sorry about the brief clip of the 156 you saw there. Slight technical issue, but it's sorted. This is Dalton-in-Furness, or Dalton as it's known as. 156485, as you saw, just brought us in from Barrow-in-Furness.
That's from of an old platform.
Yep, so that is the old platform 3 over there, which is now disused and completely grown over. The station itself, though, hasn't got a great deal of history to it, but the interesting thing is just a little bit in that direction towards Lancaster, the line goes on an avoider, which basically freight trains use. It's usually nuclear trains. They use it to go straight onto the Cumbrian coast, so Askam towards Kirkby-in-Furness. It used to be the old line that ran from Kirkby-in-Furness to Barrow, and then it used to sort of, well, and Barrow, and it used to go that way on that line, avoider. You can't really see it from here, but it's an avoider, and it used to go away from here and Roose and just go on an avoider line, but yet to Askam. But now obviously all trains come here, and the freight uses that line to avoid having to use, you know, to traverse through Barrow-in-Furness.
So the 88 we saw this morning would have used that.
Yep, we did see an 88 this morning. Unfortunately it passed us just as we left Silverdale, so you know, good fun.
That's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. And then even more unfortunate, it left after we got to Carnforth. We saw it, and then it decided to go
there the same time as us,
and left.
and then it left like.
So it got, basically it left the same time as us at Silverdale, so we missed it, and then it left at the same time we arrived at Carnforth, and we missed it again. So you know, just the way it is, I suppose. Railway things. But anyway, yeah. So that is Dalton-in-Furness. That's the town it serves. So yeah, we're now going to make our way back to Barrow again for the 4th time today, I believe. And we're going to do the 2 last stations, or at least, hopefully, at least one of them. But we'll see how we go. I'll update you soon. Also, just worth noting, just as you walk down here, it's all fenced off now, but it is the remains of the old platform 3. The station did used to have 3 platforms, but it is all fenced off now and overgrown completely. But this fencing here and where all this vegetation is, you can see there's some fencing over there, which represented the former platform, which is now overgrown. But yeah, it's now just been paved over and used for different reasons. But yeah, and you see there's the remains of another platform over there as well, so that might have been the old platform. No, I don't think it was. So yeah, but it's just got redone to only have 2 platforms because that's all it needs really. Anyway, right, update you soon. The next station we should be going to should be Kirkby-in-Furness, but if we don't go there, it will be Askam we go to. We are going to aim to get to them both, but if we don't do Kirkby-in-Furness, we will definitely do Askam. Update you soon. There's a shot of a 15722, a Scania E400. That's on the 6. It should come from Windermere, going to Barrow-in-Furness. We're now here back at Barrow-in-Furness station again, and this has got to be the 4th time we visited, and we're now going to make our way over to the station. I'll update you in a minute. There's a view into the platform from just the fencing area. 156404 is sat in there. Not our train. I think we've got 156479, which is going to take us over to Kirkby-in-Furness. My fault. Update you soon. So here's our train. It is 156479, sat here at the moment, ready to do the journey to Carlisle. 1807 service, which calls at several stations on the way, which I'm not going to read because there's loads. I don't think it's to the level of some, but it is still a lot.
It's about 2.5 hours.
It's about 2.5, nearly 3 hours to get to Carlisle from here. Added the bit from Lancaster, you're talking nearly 4. So yeah, update you soon. Off to Kirkby-in-Furness. Okay, so we now reached Kirkby-in-Furness, and off goes 156479. That one goes heading over. It must be said, this station is an absolute stunner. Look at it, it's beautiful. And look at the view over here. You might not see it all too well, you actually probably will. Look at that. As you look directly towards the Lake District, this station is a beaut, and there are so many of these, but this is a really nice one. We'll talk more about it in a minute. This station is also a request stop, so interesting. We only request stop we're visiting today, so I'll update you soon. So this station, Kirkby-in-Furness, has a lot of history to it. So this station actually wasn't really named, or wasn't really called Kirkby-in-Furness until the railway station got actually opened and created. It was actually this station is actually like a culmination of 6 villages, including Kirkby-in-Furness, but the name was actually picked at complete random. It could have been any of the 6 names, but they picked this name, Kirkby-in-Furness. So it does mainly serve the village of that, but obviously the name Kirkby-in-Furness didn't get made. The village didn't even get named that until the railway station opened, so there you go. The other thing to note is that this station historically once had the longest platform seats in the country, but it's now gone. What? The longest platform seat, so like one of them basically. It had the longest one of them, or back in Victorian times it was the platform seat, and yeah, it had the longest one of them in the country, but obviously it's gone now. Nice little bit of history there. like I say, the station is a request stop, so we will be requesting for the 1837 Carlisle Barrow-in-Furness to stop, and then we'll be heading to the last station of the day, Askam. Very nice, beautiful little station. Okay, arriving now is the 1837 Northern service from Carlisle to Barrow-in-Furness. 156444. Final station of the day now is Askam. We'll update you when we get there. Right, now reached Askam station. With 156444 heading off to Barrow-in-Furness, the next stop. Another very nice looking station, and the only, like I say, it's the only two we're visiting on the Cumbrian coast section today, is Askam. And this station actually has a loop into or out of here into the other track going towards Carlisle, which is quite nice. The station looks lovely, and this station building looks fantastic. The station was opened in the 1860s, and an interesting little fact about this station was that there was actually, I think, the local vicar or the local mayor of this area actually made a complaint about it and said no, it wasn't good enough, it didn't look good enough, because the station platform was just gravel and wood. It wasn't actually, it was just basically a station of just a bit of gravel and a bit of wood you could stand on and wait for a train. Whilst nowadays obviously it's not that. Back then in the 1860s things were, materials obviously were a lot harder to source, and I imagine making things like this wouldn't have been possible until later on. But the station shelter looks like a house, was in a house, in an old station house which has been converted, same as the other one. Which does have a, I think it does have a ticket office, but it is only open at certain points. So yeah, it's a, I don't actually think it does actually, I think it's unstaffed completely. But yeah, that is what Askam is basically. It serves two villages, Askam-in-Furness and Irleth, I think that's how you say it. Irleth, I think it's Irleth, and that's how you say it. Sounds Cumbrian enough. Yeah, but as you see, the sun is setting over what has been a hugely successful day, over something that we, being myself and Brandon, panicked that wasn't actually going to be possible because of Northern's mess-ups and timetable change. I don't think it was their mess-ups, but it was train crew issues and timetable changes at the last minute, and then one train fault. So yeah, it's been challenging, but it's been worth it. So we'll talk more about that in a minute, but this is Askam. Mr. Speaker, said Keir Starmer, I have a question. I would like an opinion from the Tories as to whether or not they're fit enough to be in the government. I would like their opinion. What do you say to that, Mr. Speaker? I don't know. Ask him. I make no apologies for that joke.
So we'll be leaving now, I think.
Right, arriving in now is the 1907 Northern service from Barrow-in-Furness to Carlisle. It's 156421. Right, going out now is the 1907 to Carlisle. Which is 156421. coming from Barrow-in-Furness. As that one goes out, I am actually going to finish the video here at lovely Askam. I was going to finish in Barrow, but I've covered Barrow already, and I kind of feel like this is a really nice place to finish the video. So, thank you all for watching today's video from the Furness line, plus a little bit of the Cumbrian coast. We're not really into the Cumbrian coast yet. There's only 2 stations just beyond Barrow, so not too far into it. But the Furness line, mostly. If you have liked what you've seen, do like and subscribe, and do leave any comments, because I will get back to them as and when I can. And any recommendations are welcomed, so please do leave us in the comments. As always, to Brandon, thank you for coming. He's enjoyed himself. And Alex as well. Alex, I know, had a really good time. I think Brandon can agree with me to say that this morning we thought this wasn't going to go fully to plan, did we? Because we looked and there were so many trains we had planned in that were removed from the timetable. So to be able to do Kirkby-in-Furness and Askam right at the end and still be on time back to Barrow is really, really good.
The thing is, we had extra. We added another extra station of Carnforth.
Yeah, well, Carnforth, I've already done Carnforth, but for you it's an extra one because you've not been there.
Yeah.
But I've already done it. Because the last time we did Carnforth, Alex was there as well, so that was good. Up next on every platform, we'll be back in the lovely, sunny maybe, county of Kent. And we will be covering the line that goes to Sandwich, basically Ramsgate, but we're going to be going to all stations to Sandwich from Ashford International. We're also going to do some stations between Dartford and Northfleet, so towards Gravesend, to cover that side of it before we cut across to the other line. And you'll see how we do that in the next video, and it's quite an interesting way we're doing it, and it's going to be one that you'll quite like. He knows how we're doing it, and it is involving buses, but it's a very interesting bus indeed. But you'll see what it is when we do it. The cut across, that is, there will be other bog standard buses that you usually get. This one we don't normally get, so it will be good. The next video, well, also in terms of spotting, you've probably already seen it, but Lancaster and Preston will also be filmed tomorrow, Sunday, but you'll probably have already seen that by now, so hopefully you enjoyed those. That's how far behind I am with every platform, that those would have come out before this did. So I won't do any spoilers in that video, hopefully. Apologies if I did. But yeah, thank you for a great day, Brandon, and thank you all for watching today's episode of Every Platform from the lovely Askam and from all the amazing stations you've been to today. Bye bye. Okay, we've now reached Banteer station. Right, there goes 22217 heading out to Cork from Tralee. And yeah, so this station is Banteer, and we'll talk about it in just a moment. So it's worth introducing this station now. This station is Banteer. This station is quite nice actually, because, well, again, it's a bit like Mill Street in the fact that it is basically in the middle of nowhere. But the station in terms of looks is really good. It looks like they have done some work on the far end of the platform, but again, all these stations have really lovely buildings that look like they've not been touched, which is really, really good to see that they haven't been. As you can see under the shelter here, they've got they do have a waiting room, but because the station is unstaffed, they haven't done anything with it. And a bit like whilst we were at in East Yorkshire, it says ladies' waiting room. So obviously back in the day when things were very different, they separated the genders. But you can't go in because it's locked. Which again shouldn't ever be like that. But for a time, a long time ago, it was. Even over here and in the UK, it was both very much the same. But we saw it in East Yorkshire as well at one of the stations. I think it was. Oh god, which one was it? I think it was one of the stations beyond Bridlington that we saw it at. So I think it was before Filey. But yeah, we saw it at one of those, and when we were there, that was pretty evident that didn't look very good. So, but well, a long time ago it didn't anyway. But yeah, so this station, the frequency on the line isn't as bad as when we went to like Rosslare, kind of. I mean, the trains are once every 2 hours. Rosslare, they can be a massive wait for one. Like, you can have one like in an hour, another one an hour later, and then you can wait 4 hours for the next one. Because, like I say, Rosslare met up with the ferry port. So, yeah. So, what else is there to say other than, yeah, this station is Banteer. Hey Noah, that's great Banteer. I had to make that joke. Great Banteer. Anyway, so I'm going to finish the video here because Banteer is the last station we need today. We haven't had many because we're only covering Mallow to Tralee. The next time I'm in Ireland, I'm doing a video, by the way, and I will be able to say this because by the time it is up, he will know about it. But I'm coming over to Ireland at the end of September. But Noah doesn't know that yet, so he'll know by the time this is up, though. But he'll kill me for adding this in. But there we go. Anyway, yeah. So thank you for watching this video. If you have liked what you've seen, do like and subscribe, and do leave in the comments because I will get back to them as when I can. And any recommendations are welcome, so please do leave those in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed another glimpse of Ireland. Still got quite a lot to go, and I do intend to complete it as much as I do intend to complete the UK. Ireland is very much in that same boat as well. So, what have we learned? That this line isn't as bad as some of the others in terms of frequency, but still, it's not fit for purpose. The public transport system in this country is not fit for purpose and hasn't been fit for purpose for a long time. And Noah will agree with me when I say that, because the bus network and the train network are both exactly the same in terms of that category. Wouldn't you agree, Noah? Noah? Wouldn't you agree? Saying that the public transport network, like the railway, especially when you get out of Dublin, the buses aren't fit for purpose, aren't the frequency wise. The majority of it.
The buses are fine, the frequency is not there.
That's what I mean, like that's not fit for purpose really. Because a lot of these towns could do so much better bus service and they don't get it. So it's not enough drivers. Yeah, another story. Anyway, so I shall see you next time on Every Platform. The next episode of Every Platform I should be in Cumbria. So we should be doing some of the line to Barrow-in-Furness, so that should be nice. Cumbrian coast. So we shall look forward to that one. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys when I go over to do the Cumbrian coast. Goodbye.